my god, good morning, hi, hello. It's a beautiful new week here at Hey Girl. Oh my god, Valentine's Day is upon us. I hate this holiday, and not in like the sort of eccentric way that people who are too cool for Valentine's Day say they hate Valentine's Day, because we all know those people really just hate that no one loves them, and that's just what it really is. But I hate Valentine's Day because of the way it makes people feel who are not in relationships. Bitch, be single. Throw that pussy all over town. Who cares? Be single. Hello, be single. Can I get some commotion for being single? Be single. As somebody who has been in a relationship for nearly a decade, bitch, just be single. It's fine. Nobody gives a shit. It's not that serious. You don't need to be all depressed and sad because you don't have a boyfriend. Also, bitch, getting a boyfriend isn't going to make your problems go away. That just means you're going to have to deal with him and his problems as well as your problems. So just get the coins knocked out of you and live your life. It's not that serious. And you know what? On the 15th, go buy that candy. Go buy the candy no one else bought and eat that shit by yourself. That's what I'm going to do. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say about it. I don't know to like I don't need to like go on and on about it. Anyways, I'm gonna bring in my guests this week. We are here with is it we're here with Divos.
Divos.
It's Divos.
Divos, yeah. Hit the hard D. That's how we all like it.
I mean, if you're gonna hit the D, make sure that shit is hard. My mother
It,
always said.
it might as well be hard. Thank you for having me, Jordan. I'm so excited to
Thanks.
be here.
Of
Is it
course.
Jordan?
No, it's actually Becky, but it is spelled Jordan.
Opening with Valentine's Day. That's bold.
Yeah, I do that a lot here. I'll just straight up open the podcast and be like, "Fuck Nicki Minaj, she could choke." Anyways, welcome
Yeah.
my guest, the number one Nicki Minaj fan.
Am I a Nicki fan?
And pull
Although
up in the
not.
Priyanka.
Okay.
All I
I
say is Priyanka now.
Priyanka, I know. A location, a car, it's everything.
I
Although
I mean, I stan the drag queen Priyanka way more than I will ever stan the rapper Onika Mirage, especially given recent
the
events.
circumstances. No, I agree. I have something to say about Valentine's Day before we move on.
Do
I have a
it.
question for you.
Uh-oh.
So I lived with a couple about 3 years ago, and I have been single most of my life. I love being single. I just live my life. I develop myself. Um,
Yes.
and so for Valentine's Day, I was having fun doing whatever. I don't really even acknowledge it's happening. And my roommate comes home. She's the sweetest person ever, like so kind. And she's like, I have a present for you. And I was like, okay, like chocolate. I can do chocolate. She hands me like a clay heart that she has painted with I love you on it. And inherently a sweet gesture, but I was like, you're having sex later. And I was just handed a clay painted heart. And I didn't know how to interpret it. So I wanted to ask for your opinion because
Uh-oh.
obviously it's a nice gesture inherently, but I don't, it made me feel a certain kind of way, I guess. How would you feel?
I would also feel a certain kind of way, and I would demand that I mean, I was really thinking she was gonna. First of all, initially I thought it was a gay couple and that they were gonna invite you for a threesome on Valentine's Day, which is what you really deserve.
Oh, that would have been a much better story, huh?
Do you want to go back and tell that version of the
Yeah, let
story?
me
It
let me
doesn't
start back
matter.
over. Okay, so a few Valentine's days ago, I was living with a gay couple. I'm
Cute.
homosexual, man on man.
Fierce.
Yeah, two penises. And no, but like, Valentine's Day, it's just it is what it is. So you've had 10 Valentine's days with your boyfriend.
Yeah, this is our 10th.
Wow, do you celebrate it hard?
Not really.
I wouldn't
I'm.
celebrate it soft.
I think we've actually had at least one threesome on Valentine's Day because we just forgot it was Valentine's Day.
Okay, so it's not really your thing.
Not really. And also, his birthday's at the end of the month. So it's like,
Mm,
you want me to buy you something now and then later? No, no.
yeah, it's a lot.
It's too much. And we're also like moving, and we don't need to be dealing with all that.
And moving sounds very exciting. Do you want to talk about it? What's the? I know, I know. Let's cue you into the move conversation.
uh, well, I don't know if you've ever experienced this living in LA, but there's something about the timeline of moving. So people who are who own the landlords who are trying to get their apartments rented, when you see it, they want you to apply and move in within a week to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But your current apartment, for whatever reason, demands that you tell them 30 days before you're going to move that you're going to move. So we have to put in our 30 days notice, wait 2 weeks, and then start looking at apartments and homes.
Oh, and then it's a countdown.
And then it's literally a countdown. So I've been like thinning out our home and packing up. Meanwhile, we don't know where we're going to be.
Wow.
And also, rhinestoning and doing wigs and doing all this stuff, trying to keep up with gigs and
Your
also this
career,
pageant.
yeah.
So it's like, there are certain things that I can't pack. It's just stupid. So I'm hoping by the time this episode is out, well, by the time this episode is out, we are basically 72 hours from getting the keys to whatever place we've decided on.
So exciting. And what I find the most challenging is you're trying to move out of your old place, and then you need the security deposit for the new place, which is a quantity of cash that
Oh,
I don't often
yes.
have sitting around waiting to be placed into a security deposit. So the numbers are all over the place. I mean, moving is one of my least favorite parts of existing as a human being. It is so traumatic to
It's
me. It's like
horrible.
it's horrible. And the last time I moved, I tried really hard to only take the important things to me. Like go through and be like, if I don't want this, it's going in the trash can. I'm donating it. Because
Yes.
like moving in with stuff you don't want is worse. But then you're literally going through all your belongings. You're stopping halfway through. You're crying at like mementos that you pass by, and like you're looking at this shirt that your first ever crush gave to you 30 years ago, and you are deciding whether or not you want to keep using it as a cum rag. And so it's just like really boils
Yes.
down.
Well, I do that same thing too because I've moved around so many times in my life, but my boyfriend has only moved once, and that
His
was when
whole
we moved
life.
into our current. Yeah, so he grew up in his childhood home and did not move from that home until
Wow.
he and I got our apartment that we live in together. And I've moved a million times, so I understand when you move, you get rid of basically everything you own and you pack up and go. But he's like, "What? We have to get rid of things?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what moving is. You just thin out your home, get rid of keep only the things you need, donate the rest, and that's it."
And that's it.
So we'll see. It's just, well, moving and getting married are said to be the two most stressful human experiences.
And like your whole wow.
Like,
Are you gonna get married?
and not like how straight people get married.
No.
I'm
I
not
have a
doing
lot
that.
of I'm really excited for my wedding, and it's going to be nothing like what my parents probably want, but it's going to be a production. Like I want it to be like Met Gala. Like I give a theme, everyone has to show up in the theme. Like I'm like so serious. Like if some of my extended family think they're too cool, there'll be like a splash zone seating outside of the venue that they can stay in.
In
But
the
everyone
parking
else
lot.
in the parking lot. And I'll do it during the summer, so it's a very hot parking
Yeah,
lot. The
middle of the
asphalt will
day, Palm Springs,
sweating.
July.
Set the scene. Set the scene.
Yes.
Hmm.
Honestly, I'm tempted to be like, I'm gonna make a reservation at the Cheesecake Factory for 25 people, and the first 25 people who RSVP get a seat, and you will pay for your food.
Okay,
That's it.
so if you had an unlimited budget for your wedding, would you want drag to be involved at all for a photo shoot, or do you just want it to be your own personal experience outside of your work?
No, I want it to be the two of us signing the paper, and then maybe having like a group of friends over, you know.
Keep it demure, keep it
Yeah, and then
intimate.
go on a vacation. Like do a really nice like go to Greece or something for like a week.
Reese, have you ever been to like anything like on the Mediterranean like that?
No, I've never been.
No.
I mean, I've been to
I've
like
been,
Mexico, but that doesn't count.
yeah, I've been to the LA River. Beautiful this time of year.
Oh yeah, the bodies floating, they almost look like alligators if you don't think about it.
They do. I'm from New Orleans, and so it really reminds me of home. And it
Yeah.
does. It does. And actually it's almost Mardi Gras, which back to Valentine's Day. That's what I think of when I think of Valentine's Day, because Mardi Gras is always like directly in line. Have you ever celebrated any kind of Mardi Gras before?
No, I took French class in seventh grade and we learned all about Mardi Gras and all that. Um,
Okay.
do you have like a cultural connection to Mardi Gras?
I was about to say, so my mom's whole family is from there. So like I would spend my summers every year in New Orleans and um I got to perform. I did a number last night at the Bayou in West Hollywood. And I got to do a Mardi Gras number, and as a white person, there's no culture to pull from. Like if you want to like feel connected to a number, you have to make it like a personal experience. But it was really cool to get to do a Mardi Gras number. I actually wore an outfit that my grandpa wore in a Mardi Gras parade 30 years ago. He's no longer with us.
Work.
So it was really cool to like get to wear his costume that he wore and like style it up. I have I recently got a Z cup silicone breastplate. And so the number was like traditional music you'd hear in a Mardi Gras parade, but it was interspersed with like a cat calling, like show me your tits,
Oh,
show me those
yes.
mommy milkers, baby. And then
Yeah.
by the end of the number, yeah, by the end of the number, the top was up. I was just running around, letting all the people experience what it's like to carry the opportunity of Z cup breasts on your chest.
Yes. Your big naturals.
My big
Yes.
naturals, the jugs, the ladies. I like big
That's
naturals a
great.
lot,
I don't have a breastplate. I only have the man body one.
which is awesome.
But it's very much like indicative of like the Jordan drag experience. Like, oh, of course she doesn't have a breastplate, but she has multiple man like muscular silicone that she wears as a female woman.
You're
Yeah.
performing gender. Who can tell you what to do?
You know, I just think silicone abs and pecs and arms. It's very intriguing in a
Do you feel
female
sexy?
swimsuit. I do. It's really fun. It's hot, but it's really fun.
So hot. It's so my best friend Zach, who I live with, very straight. But the nicest guy ever. We're actually starting up our own podcast in a couple weeks, which I think
Ooh.
I know. The week after this episode airs, Twink Twink Twunk will be revealed to the public.
Is
So I'm
that the
very
title?
Twink Twink Twunk.
Wait, is
And
there a third person?
so we left it open for guests, but more so it's just if at the end of every episode we just throw out places, people, things, classify them with very little explanation. It's just kind of like a vibe. But he's a heterosexual businessman and I am a drag queen in Los Angeles and our dynamic is very silly and I'm excited to have him humanize all the drama. There'll be a video component. I'll be in drag every week.
Yes.
Um and I think it's just going to be really like for example, our promo shoot, I got this really cool like night outfit. Have you heard of Lemon from Canada?
Yes, I love lemon.
So she did like a closet, get rid of things at the top of the year. And she got rid of some of her drag. So I actually got this Mugler inspired night outfit from her. So anyway, the promo
Ooh.
shoot, I'm in this night outfit, feeling everything, and he is in khakis and a t-shirt that says "Wenches diggeth me." So
Oh my
every
god.
so every week he'll be connected to the theme, but in his own way, which I think will be really fun and cute. But um, so we were talking about breastplates.
Oh
So
yeah, boobies.
before I learned how to take off breastplates, so sweaty, so disgusting, he'd have to help me, and so kind of him because it's a swamp underneath there.
It's splashing. It's
It's
crazy.
talk about the splash zone. I mean, it's terrifying. But I learned recently with smaller ones you can like scrunch them up on the sides to take them off. Yesterday to get off the Z cup breasts, he has to get up at 5 a.m. for work, so there was no asking for help. I had to lay on the ground and pull my body forward so that the breastplate and the back rolled up in the back. And then I had to
Oh.
keep like inchworming down my floor until I was able to grab it and pull it over my head because they're
Do
easy
you
to rip.
do you have to like lubricate your body or do you use powder?
They're pretty easy to get on. I've never had any problems like because well with yours it's very full body, so I imagine it's hard
It's
to maneuver
weird.
down.
Yeah, because it has arms. So it goes all
Oh,
the way down to my wrist and it has like muscles and it has like pecs and abs. So it goes down below my waist because it has a belly button. So,
wow.
and it has a zipper up the center back. So I have to unzip it and then cover my body in lube and then pour lube on the inside and rub it, and then slide it my arms in, and then I hold them up so gravity pulls it down, and then I have to have somebody pull the shoulders up and zip it. Stupid.
Wow.
Fashion.
And that's glamour, everybody.
That is glamour. But
Unadulterated.
I've only worn it once in public. I did a number in it. I need to do that number again, but it's such a pain in the ass to put the muscle thing on and then to do multiple numbers. It's like,
Oh, I can't even. But people loved it.
yes, yes. And I got some good little like clips to post from it, but maybe I'll do it again soon. We'll see. It's just a lot.
It's a lot.
But so when did you move to LA for college?
I moved to LA for college. I did. So I grew up in Virginia, spent my summers in New Orleans, and then I went to UCLA where I studied cognitive science, which I am using approximately zero of, um,
Perfect.
which I think is the ideal undergraduate experience. But I got to be around a lot of people that pushed me to be like as authentic as possible, which is what I got out of college. And um, so yeah, and I've been here ever since.
You know, I moved here from Georgia right before college, and basically I was just like, all right. So I went to the Art Institute, dropped out after a year because they laid off all the instructors in my major. So I was like, wait,
No,
all online classes until you decide if you want to hire new instructors at $520 per unit?
that's insane.
I don't think so. So I dropped out and then I went to go study theater.
What major were you in? What was your department?
I was in graphic design and then I switched to advertising.
Ooh, your Instagram for the pod with your outfit and then the little circle, it's really good.
Oh,
It
thank
looks
you.
so cohesive and it features all the guests really well. I know how hard Instagram with those little ass squares, it's
It's
hard
so
sometimes.
stupid. But you know what? Bow and Arrow took those pictures. Friend of the
Really?
pod. I love Bowen. She's taken most pictures of me. Her and David Martinez and Jordan Service are like the three main photographers that I'm like obsessed with.
Bowen is Yuck Studios, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yuck Studio. Where is that located?
They're close to West Hollywood, I think. I don't know maps, but I've been to her house several times. I should know.
Okay.
We shot that pink image in her house. And then the other shoots we did, we had locations, which was really fun.
I love a location shoot. I take Pride Month very seriously. So I am getting ready to go do that already because I'm a crazy person and I just want to do locations because I can, essentially.
Yeah. There's really great studio spaces that you can use that look insane. And they're only like a couple bucks an hour. So if you can get in there and get the shots in an hour,
In and
you're
out,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. No, that's good
That's
to
what we
know.
did. We did shoots for my music video over the course of 3 days. So each day I bought a studio for 4 hours and we shot the video and did the pictures in that time.
So much planning, huh? To make sure you get everything
Yeah.
done.
We had a lot of like Zoom meetings and taking notes and planning and lots of like little things that you need to pay for, like fog machines. Um, we have to figure out lights because some studios have lighting, some don't, some we don't trust the lighting. None of them had air conditioning.
What?
So it was like me in drag, sweating, trying to check the shot, check the light, Bowen, trying to get everything figured out. It was wild, but like me, her, and my boyfriend were the only three people there most days, except for the classroom scene. But like, we made it work.
That's amazing. Congratulations. It's such a feat.
Thanks. Bow and arrow saves the day. I live for her.
Bow and arrow. That is so cool. You know, the first time I saw you and I was like, I think we could be good friends. It was so we met doing a little
Oh,
contest.
that stupid bingo competition. I was robbed. Tiffany, you hear that bitch? I was robbed. She doesn't listen to this.
So we met doing that and then DragCon. I think there's like a few kind of drag queens at DragCon, right? It's like the people that go to like meet
Oh,
people and
yes.
like have fun. And then there's the people that go to like walk around and look hot. And then there is the few of us that go with a friend and
Divas.
we're not there to really to for personal enjoyment necessarily. We're there strictly for content. were
Oh
there.
yeah.
So I don't know if you saw me, but I was in like the food court area and I'm like emotionally preparing to enter into the con to like get my content with the little like I had my own microphone
Oh,
and
the
everything.
little like
With the long cord and
love. So
preparing
much
what
fun.
content I needed to get. And I look over and there you are in the corner with your friend against like a white wall, like getting your photos for the day.
Oh yes, that's my boyfriend Joey who makes the outfits.
R-
He's in charge of the
Wow.
the photography. So I'm always like, okay, we're gonna take a couple and he's very like, okay, we need to make sure we get pictures. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm tired. I want to take this off. And he's like, get against the wall. We're gonna take some pictures.
That's amazing. What a great team.
Yeah, he's great. But DragCon is like I did it first in 2022, and initially I didn't think they were going to let me do it because there was drama with last year and ambush
Mhm.
interviewing, and then they were like, you can't do this, and I was like, I'm just going to ask everybody nicely before. And then it went really well, and they let me come back in 2023. But that year I was like, okay, I need to like, because the first year I was pretty much just walking around and seeing who would talk to me. This
Right.
year I was like, I need to see specific queens who owe me a follow up to their interview last year. And only one queen said no to me.
That's great.
And I don't want to say names because I'm talking about Princess Poppy, but I love her though. Since then we have chatted and we're cool, we're great. But she was like, I don't know if I'm allowed, and I was like, bitch, you just don't want to be in drag anymore. You just want to quit drag.
You want to take it off. You want to be a goblin at the Emmys.
Ugh, I love her.
And she did it.
I need to get her on here. I wonder if she'd do it. I don't know.
I don't know why she wouldn't. I mean, I feel like it's just fun.
She's probably gonna say no, but I'll just keep asking her until she blocks me or says yes.
That's a good recurring bit to have her say no as many times as possible.
Yes. But so, did you have to get a press credential?
So I didn't think that far ahead, to be honest. I was like working up the emotional energy to get over there. And so I didn't like interview people. What I did is I did like personal content that I then output in terms of like things I could do. The only person I asked for anything was Pangina because she happened to be walking by. She also went to UCLA, so we did like a little UCLA shout out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because I do a bunch of stuff with UCLA. I'm actually guest lecturing there in a week and a half, which I'm very
Oh
excited
shit.
for.
What are
On
you gonna
like,
talk about?
so at first I was like, I mean, I don't know if I'm qualified for that kind of thing, but I thought more about it. I'm so excited. So basically, I'm just going to talk about using drag as like a queer voice and the way that we're able to kind of engage with gender in the community and exist in like this time as drag queens and really break it down for people. It's going to be, a lecture of 200 call it undergrads. I have no idea what I'm coming in
Oh,
for. So like really breaking it down. I think it's also cool to discuss how it comes together. Like for someone that's never seen drag before, like I'm going to be wearing probably an outfit by Troy C. Ford, who is
love.
downtown, just unbelievable. And just like getting to work with people like Troy, and then having the stuff that I make myself and other queer artists make a pasty or a wig. I think that's something that's really interesting and I can kind of talk about, and also the way to make a career out of art, which I don't know how it was in Georgia, but in the East Coast
Oof.
in Virginia, where I grew up, it was a joke. It was, you know, you weren't actually allowed to make a career out of art. It was like,
No, it's crazy. And now I'm like, when I moved here and I started actually doing it, I was just like, oh, it's literally the exact same principles of starting a business. You get good at something, you market yourself, you work hard, you build relationships. That's the same as Billy Bob who owns an HVAC company. Same shit.
exactly. And I think that especially with like queer art and drag, no one wants you to be like, society is like, oh, you're so self-centered, you're gonna market and advertise yourself. And like, yeah, I am. And
Yeah,
it's because
bitch.
I am. It's because I have the confidence I've worked so hard for. And I'm sorry that you're too insecure and you feel like you need to tear me down because you haven't built your confidence up in a way where that could be your brand. I'm not saying everyone needs to be a drag queen. That would be fucking awful.
We don't need
But
them. We're
we
good.
don't need them. But please, actually, if you're putting on your makeup right now, put the makeup brush down, call
You're
into the
done.
gig. You you're done.
You're cooked, bitch.
You're done.
Literally.
But I started rambling there. But the point is, it's just let us exist and mind your
Yes.
business.
Mind your business. That's a big important lesson that many adults, myself included, struggle with. Mind your business.
Do you
Because
love the drama?
oh, I love the drama. When it goes down on the Facebook, I forget all my social graces. I'll be like, what'd she say? And especially on here, I don't give a shit. I'll bring up drama. I don't care.
So you engage, like you want to be
Mm-hmm.
involved. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Because I think almost me doing it takes the seriousness out of it.
Sure.
Because it's never that serious. But at the same time, I'm like I've had people on the podcast where like I know that they've said something mean about me on the internet, and I'll bring it up. It's happened, and then we laugh about it and move on.
You have to laugh.
Yeah, because it's never that serious, and I would rather just be like, "Hey, remember when you told me I was stupid on Facebook?"
Right.
And they'll be like, "No," and I'll be like, "Screenshot."
Thank goodness.
Yes, I've also had people who like actually I had one situation where somebody was on another podcast and was saying like kind of making fun of me in a way, in a not very kind way that I didn't particularly like because it kind of
Yeah.
discredits me, and I was like, you're someone with a bigger audience and platform than me, and you're talking shit about me without saying my name but basically listing out the things I do, and I'm getting tagged in the comments. That
Right.
same person literally just reposted one of my clips and was like, bah ha 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 ha, so funny. But part of their whole argument was that I wasn't actually funny, and I just think I am. And I was just like, okay, now look at you. Thank you. But really,
Yeah. I don't take my time out of my day to tell someone else they're not funny. I'm just focused on becoming more funny myself.
well, I'm too busy telling myself that I'm not funny enough. I don't have time to bring someone else down, you
Well,
know?
only funny people do that because you're self-aware enough to be like, was that I can be funnier. You know what I mean? I just like
Yeah.
if you're taking time out of your day to critique someone else's jokes, it's probably because you can't make the jokes yourself.
And that is on period.
And that's on period. I'm interested to know who that is now. Maybe you can tell me later.
Maybe. I don't know. The DragCon thing has sort of helped open a lot of doors, especially for the podcast, which I didn't really anticipate. But that's
Hmm.
cool, especially like you're someone who goes out and does the thing. You just go do it. Like you went to Coachella.
I went to Coachella in
How was
full drag.
that?
It was crazy. And like music festivals for me, I try to turn everything into content. I feel like I'm just very, work driven. And so I was like going to Coachella, and last minute I was like, you know what? It's an opportunity to do something so ridiculous. I've only ever seen Violet and Gottmik go to Coachella and drag. So I was like, I'll get up early one day. Like, if you've never been to Coachella, the sets don't really start till like 3 or 4 p.m. And then like most of the like unless you're like into like an indie group, most of the ones that most people know about don't start till like 5 or 6. So I was like, okay, I'll get up in the morning, I'll make myself do it, I'll go. By 3 p.m. I'll be done. I'll get to take it all off and I'll just enjoy the festival. And of course, like I'm hammered the night before. Like I have to try to get up in the morning. It's like it's not the fantasy that I envisioned. I'm at my one of my best friends' grandma's place, like 30 minutes away from the festival. She like keeps coming in to check to see like how I'm doing. Like I'm like getting in drag and her grandma is like checking in on me. So sweet. She was very like, she was in on it. We'll put it that way.
Oh,
But
good.
and it's hot at Coachella and dry and it was a lot, and I mean, when I went to Coachella, I was still kind of getting in the groove of how to polish my drag correctly. So, I didn't show up with any extra lash glue, which rookie mistake when you're going out
Uh,
somewhere. So like the lash fell off. I had to like squeeze it to my eyelids and pray it was gonna, stick on in the wind and everything. But I'm really proud of doing it. I talked about I was like my first time like talking to people, and I was really upset about all the drag bans, the Tennessee legislation, and I was like just interested to bring the conversation to the forefront. So I'm proud of myself for doing it. I don't know if I do it again, but it was an
well,
entertaining experience.
especially at Coachella, where allegedly the owners are people who give money to a bunch of conservatives.
Yeah.
So
And
it's like,
so
ugh.
I know. I know. And then, after doing all that, I there's no bathroom. So I was like taking off my drag like in the parking area without like running water. It was just makeup wipes. So I felt gorgeous. I've never felt more beautiful. And, you know,
Especially at the end in the parking lot, which I've done a million times, so I feel your pain.
yeah, it's a lot, but all for it, all for the drags.
Yeah, even sometimes gigs that you think are going to be really great, they'll just be like, "Oh, we don't have a dressing room." So, you have to drive in full drag and hair or and all that. And then when you leave, you just leave in it. And I'm like, "I'm supposed to like walk through society like this?"
But they do have a
So,
broom closet. They have a broom closet and it's all yours.
hopefully, I mean, I would love a broom closet. Anywhere I can shut the door and just change.
So you're not big on just existing in the public in drag. You want to go to the
No.
gig and get out.
Yeah, I like, especially if I'm by myself, I don't like walking around in drag around people who aren't expecting it.
Hmm.
It's very awkward.
Do you feel like are you nervous to make other people uncomfortable, or do you just not really feel the need or desire?
I just know it's going to get attention either way, whether it's good or bad, it still makes me uncomfortable.
Sure.
So I'd rather just look like my face just is clean and I have like boy clothes on and just go. But, you know, I live in an apartment building and so sometimes I have to walk to the car in drag and I'm
Scary.
always like, who's there? Who's there? Okay, run. And I just keep my head down. I don't look at people. I don't acknowledge them.
No, good for you. It's such like a wave for me. Like sometimes I couldn't give less of a crap about it. Like I did a shoot on Hollywood Boulevard a couple months ago, and I was just feeling it that day. I was like, y'all can eat it, like I just am
Period.
here, period. And but sometimes I'm the same way. It's like, especially so Uber makes me a little uncomfortable sometimes, and I had
Oh
to
my god.
because I just don't, you never know. So I always try to Uber with someone because I don't want really to be by myself in an Uber where, they're literally in control of a 2,000 pound vehicle. Is it 2,000? I made up the number, but
I think that's how much they weigh.
yeah,
I
exactly a
don't know.
ton. Exactly a ton. Um,
Oodles.
you know who I see clips of traveling in drag that always gets me together. And I'm like Karma Spice, who you've had on the pod,
Oh yeah, she
on
is
the
very
metro.
like she's very pussy quant.
On the metro. I mean, that what do you think of the LA Metro?
I'm so glad you brought that up, and I'm gonna tell you after this break because we're at the halfway point,
Perfect.
and we'll be right back with Divos, Divos, Divolin, Divos, Divos, Divos. Bye. Hi, and welcome to the ASMR ad break. This is the soothing sound of you giving this podcast a nice review and a 5-star rating. This is you doing the same 5-star rating with a full set of acrylics. And now, here's the sensuous sound of you sharing this podcast with all of your friends. Now, here's the sound of you sharing this podcast with all your friends with a fresh set of acrylic nails. Wasn't that nice? Feel free to try it for yourself after this episode. Now back to the show. gosh, hi, welcome back to part two with Divos.
Indeed. The LA Metro, I gotta know what you think about the LA Metro.
Oh, I've never used it.
Not once?
No.
Oh, so you're rich. Got it.
No, I just don't go anywhere. Okay. Um, yes.
Oh, it's a crazy place. The last time I was on the LA Metro, I walked into the car and every single seat had a stalk of broccoli on it. Every single
What?
seat. I know. I I didn't know how to interpret it. I was with some friends. We thought it was funny, but I think if I was alone, I would have been pretty scared about that. It seems like a weird like
Yeah.
calling card.
Somebody just walked around and put broccoli on every seat.
Yeah, and then exited.
They must have paid for a ticket to come put the broccoli on the seat and then just not go anywhere.
I guess. Or maybe like no, yeah, I don't have an explanation. So every time I see, like we were talking about the karma on the metro, I just imagine what she could be going through. But she gets to the gig.
Yeah, she really does. And she'll be out here walking in the streets in a short little scoochy dress. Just like, I'm a woman. No one's going to question it. And I don't
Yeah,
think people do.
no one does.
They better
Because how
don't.
could you?
How could you clock? Not a soul could
And
clock. I'm very delusional about my own self where sometimes I'll be like, these bitches can't clock me. Meanwhile, there's like a white triangle and an eyebrow up here. I'm like, you guys can't clock me.
woman.
Oh my god. I'm like, girl, you can't tell me I'm not Brie Larson right now.
Brie Larson. No, I
Meanwhile,
no, I agree. I'll be in like a monochromatic green outfit with green hair. I never paint on an eyebrow. Divos is a little alien like that or whatever. Um, and I'll be out here thinking, I'm like, there's no one more feminine, no one more natural, and no one more fresh out of the womb than me today on this moment.
yes. Meanwhile, there's like hot Instagram models walking around everywhere, and you're like, wow, look at these dogs. They could
Yeah,
never.
they could absolutely never. They could never, and they haven't, and I'm still waiting for them to.
They will not.
They
They
won't.
shan't. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they truly don't. They don't matter. They will never.
They will never. I
So what? What were you gonna say? Oh no.
I just need a moment to talk about your ugly stepsister from Shrek.
Not the fucking ugly stepsister.
Do people talk about it a lot?
No, actually, but
Okay, well, we need to
uh,
talk about it.
well, what happened was I was having a conversation. Um, okay, let me like. I'm gonna pull up the conversation. Um, I used to be really scared of like um, talking about other people that I know, which
Okay.
is weird to me, but like whatever. I was having a conversation with Dahlia Sin, and I had painted something, and she was like, um, "Oh, I can't say that." Okay, so so she was being shady about another Drag Race queen that
Sure.
I really love, and I was being very defensive of this person, and she said, um, the makeup is too hard, basically. And I was like, I tried painting soft once. It's not for me. Because she paints very soft, and I do
Yeah.
not. And she said, not everyone can be soft, but anyone can paint like a clown. And I was like, yeah, but in my mind, I'm Kendall Jenner, I'm Selena Gomez, like that's it.
Yeah.
Um, and I said, I'm Bella Hadid. I am Megan Fox. And she goes, Bella Shrek Hadid. And then I sent the picture of the stepsister, and she goes, you should do that.
And here we are.
And she said, that would be a better video than anything you've ever done. And then the next week I did it, and she was just like, I can't believe you did that. So thank you, Dahlia. She's never going to listen to this, but thank you, Dahlia, for the inspiration. It was all her fault.
You looked amazing.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, for the reference,
It's true.
I,
It's true. I did feel it. I was like,
it's a fantasy, and I, I hear what Dahlia is saying with not everyone can paint soft, but I've seen a lot of very poor clowns, and I've seen a lot of very, very bad, like people that think they're giving the soft makeup, not give the soft makeup. So I don't necessarily
Yes.
agree with that kind of comment. I think there's a lot of artistry in anything you put on your face, but
You know, not all of us can be James Charles.
nor want to be.
I don't want to be. I can't paint like that. But I reached a point with my face where I went through my like big clown makeup when I first started drag because I thought, oh, I'll never be like soft and feminine. And then I
Sure.
started painting softer and I was like, wait, I feel really beautiful. And now I'm back to like the clownery of it all. But I've done it long enough where like you kind of know over time how to blend, how to make nice shapes and make things look nice.
You
So
could.
I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle now.
If he wanted to, he would.
And I might.
And I might. I just did I just did a Britney Spears. It's like 25 years of One More Time.
Oh yes, yes, you
Um
did the video.
I just did like recreating the choreo for Snapchat, and I painted very feminine. I like, did a lot of the blending and etc. And I just like, it feels, honestly, it feels lazy to me. Like in comparison to my regular makeup, I feel like I could do more artistry than. But I got so many compliments from people being like, "Oh my gosh, like you've never looked better, you've never looked this." And I was like, "Yes, I might have looked more like your traditional perspective of what a woman looks like, but that doesn't mean that's what the art I want to present to the world." And so I
Yeah.
was like, I was like, "Ugh, well, like that was it, it wasn't even a hard makeup application. It was just referencing what Britney wore in that video. So I was like, I was taking the compliments, obviously being gracious, but in the back of my head, I was like, I wish people saw past, like, maybe I'm not trying to look like a street walking diva all the time. Maybe I'm trying to present divos.
Yeah. They like it because it's an easily familiar, it's something that they can connect with immediately because they've seen it before.
Yeah,
And they know it's
exactly.
different, but it's familiar. And that brings comfort to people.
It does. And I'm not interested in catering to comfort. I hate to say it.
Absolutely not. Nar.
No, you can do an Australian accent.
I've been practicing my Australian accent for like years now, and people in my life are so sick of me.
It's hard. It's like, I think it's the hardest one.
It's really hard. But one day I'm gonna be so unclockable. I'll be in Sydney, and bitches are gonna be knowing that I'm there and I'm
You're
from
gonna
there.
Australian people are really hot to me.
The dicks? Why are all their dicks just beautiful? Maybe it's because I just love Australian people and
Yeah.
Australian culture that I'm like attracted. I don't know.
There was an Australian at the Bayou yesterday, and he was in a ski suit, like one of those retro ski suits, but the top was off, so wasn't wearing a shirt, and he was
Ugh,
fascinated in the boobs, fascinated, fascinated.
gorge.
Um, and he was eating a piece of pizza, like it was a how can I like a pot pie, like he was like like eating it from top down, bizarre, very scary.
Okay.
But so yeah, so like imagine like, and he didn't have a spoon. So he was like taking his hand and like scooping it was kind of horrifying. But he stayed for the gig, and I was shocked at how many people, I mean, I shouldn't be shocked, but the breastplate, people were intrigued and people wanted to see more.
They want to touch it. They want to jiggle them. They want
They,
to go.
they wanted to motorboat. They
Yeah,
really wanted to motorboat, but
I
I
see
should have
that.
known.
Well, you should charge.
I should charge. I should charge. Well, I'm so delusional about my drag where it's like I think of it as like a one piece. Like when I'm done, I'm like, this is Divos as the Mardi Gras number. And so like I imagine people perceive it as like art, as like, wow, like look at that, like look at how it moves, look at how the light reacts with the rhinestones and everything, and like look at the makeup and look at the hair. But I forget that people are not thinking about it that deeply. It's like really not that
Mm-mm.
serious.
Just a
They
clown.
just the birthday clown with the big boobs, and they wanted to touch them, and I
Yes.
and I let some of them. I did.
You know what? Did you know that drinking is still illegal if you're driving, even if you're the birthday boy? I don't know.
Wow.
I've never had a drink, but I hear that that's a thing.
Me either. I use like a catheter for all my liquids.
Mm. Does that go into the urethra or through the intestine? Or is that a colostomy bag?
No, colostomy bags are like on like the side of your body, I think. Like they don't go, they're
Yes.
like a new hole.
The catheter is in your pee hole?
Mm-hmm. Terrifying. Do you know about sounding?
No, what's that?
Sounding is I this is not my brand. It's not who I am. I'm just sharing something I've learned,
Right, allegedly.
allegedly. But I can show you that later. Um,
What?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So like it's people that get pleasure from putting things up the pee hole.
Oh yeah, there's like a whole niche for that.
It's like a
They sell
niche.
toys for that.
It literally it makes my insides want to turn inside out. It's truly I don't know where the pleasure would come from there, to be honest.
I didn't know that was what it was called.
Sounding. Hmm.
I have seen it all.
You've seen it.
And
Hmm.
well, yeah, I have seen it. Not in person, but I've seen videos. But
Hmm.
also, doing drag and working in nightlife, you see a lot
It's
of
out
strange
there.
things that you didn't expect. Ooh,
The world is your oyster.
it's crazy. You know what else is crazy?
What, Jordan?
Snapchat.
Yeah.
I did not know that you could post content to Snapchat like reels.
No, most people do not. And so they have like a For You page. If you're on your regular like Snappy Snap and you swipe over, so the screen moves to the
Okay.
right, and then you swipe again. If I did it correctly, then you're on the For You you're on like the For You page.
Oh, to the right, you said?
To the right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so I know. So I have a friend that works over on Snapchat, and she's like, we need content from queer people because Snapchat is very like middle America. It's very like, um, it gives very bro vibes. There's a lot of, um,
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing it.
you see what I mean? It's very America's Funniest Home Video. Like, oh my gosh, like that person was biking and then just like accidentally fell and slammed into a semi truck. And so they needed some like queer content, and I filled the niche. I filled the niche, and it's super fun. It gives me a lot of like creative inspiration. They ask me to like hit aesthetics and vibes, and I go in and I help them.
Whoa.
Hmm.
I wish there was a way to just automatically have a reel post to all the apps. It's so exhausting.
YouTube Shorts, and then the Instagram Reels, and then uh to TikTok. And now I post it on Snapchat too. And the worst part, so I do a lot of like mini music videos, is they have different rights to different parts of the songs. So like
Oh,
some platforms have the
jeez.
whole song, some platforms only have clips. So I have to plan around what clips could go on each platform. There are different dimensions for each of them, which make me want to jump because Instagram Reels will show you different things. There are even two different dimensions in Instagram Reels when where you have it before you tap in, where you see a certain thing, and you can
Oh,
tap
yeah.
into the Reels and see the whole
And it
thing.
opens.
And I think about all of that because it's important. Like, again, it's like an extension of everything that I do. But yeah, it's draining. It really is.
It is exhausting. And thankfully, YouTube, you can schedule things.
Hmm.
So I will schedule everything for the week on YouTube. And then I just have to remember, like today at 5, I have to remember to post to Instagram and TikTok. But
Right.
having to do Snapchat on top. Also, my Snapchat, I'm gonna be honest with you, um, I use it to look at dicks. And that's just what it
Period.
is. I didn't know it was
Period.
good for anything else.
And it doesn't need to be. It's like I think I just had this opportunity to help with them, and I had to re-download Snapchat when my friend asked me to start posting. I didn't even have Snapchat on my accounts, and it was cool to like find that community and be like, for example, they wanted a trick shot, right? As straight as it comes. So the theme was trick shot. What I did is I took a wig and I was like, have you ever seen a drag queen put on a wig? Well, let me show you. I threw it out of frame. I got pictures of the wig flying through the air, coming out of the fridge, like
Oh,
and animated all together, and then it ended with it coming on my head, and they loved it. It was like because everything else was a fucking basketball shot. There were some frisbees, but everything else was like there's no creativity in interpretation of the prompt, and I think that's what I give to offer.
good, and it's good that they know that there's a niche for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it
Copy.
monetized?
Yeah, it can be monetized. There's like like every social media, there's like the creator programs. So that's that's how it goes over on Snapchat. But what's your favorite social media?
I spend an awful lot of time on Instagram,
Hmm.
and I think maybe TikTok.
Have you done Threads?
I tried it for a day. It was so much fun.
Really?
For a day.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, I'm bored. Then I just forgot about it. And then weeks later, I opened it and I was like, oh my God, nothing's happening here. Cool.
Yeah, I know. The last thing I want is more social media.
Mm-mm. It's too much.
And you run your podcast accounts, and which is my trajectory. I'm about to start doing the same thing. But you run your podcast and your personal stuff. What is that like?
Yeah, so I have like an out of drag boy page that's just for like friends,
Hmm.
which I end up just using to look at dicks. And
Hmm.
then I have the podcast account, and then I have the drag account. And so sometimes I'll be messaging someone and I forget that I'm on one account and I'll be like, oh, let me
Oh,
switch over to the other one.
yeah.
Um, but usually when I post the podcast stuff, I make it collab posts with the podcast account. So they're
Oh,
connected, which I love that feature. I'm so glad they did that.
that is really nice.
And then I can
So,
get into fights in the comments
right, with yourself.
with myself, yes.
Um,
I will get flagged sometimes at the things I say to myself. And I'm like, wait, no, it's just me.
I got flagged for the first time yesterday.
Oh
Um,
no, what'd you say?
Well, so I was doing promotion for the Bayou show, and my promotion scheme of the week is to be like, I'm so excited to share as part of my culture. Like, I'm so excited to show you my talents. And then like the third side is always like essentially a nude of me, where it's
Mm.
like, in case both of those were completely irrelevant and unimportant to you, here's my naked body, which is all I know you care about. Um, but I put the word naked in the Instagram story, which I was like,
Oh
I wasn't
yeah.
naked. Like I was like covered with like a sticker or something. But I guess they saw that and they didn't like that. So they said I couldn't do any brand deals for a week. And I was like, oh no, Instagram. Me and my 4,000 followers, I got to get in contact with
Oh
Sephora
no.
HQ because I was about to drop a makeup line.
Yeah. I have to do the skincare review. I have to do this haul.
Kim is going to be so pissed because the skim drop is going to have to be postponed now.
Oh my god. Yes.
So you have a
It's
boy,
insane.
it's insane. You have a boy page.
Yeah, initially it was a Finsta because when I
Hmm.
was in college, the Finsta was the thing, and it
Yeah.
would be like a spam account where I would just post like memes and like really unflattering pictures of me with like just no captions because I had the drag page and I was like, well, this is very like glamorous and it has more followers, so like maybe this will be just for like close friends. And then it started to be like boys would follow, and then it was like guys that I would meet in drag who were interested in me out of drag started following the account. And so now it's just like a bunch of gay guys following me. It's
That's one
not
of my
like a thing.
Well, no, but that's genuinely one of my New Year's resolutions was to make a boy Instagram account because when I committed to Divos, I was like, I want this to be my career. I made my main account into Divos's account because I was like, if I'm going to commit, I want it to be like
Yeah.
fully like all of my work up to this point because I had lots of art series beforehand on that account, and so I'd like developed a little following. Um, but like trying to talk to boys, like I don't want to talk to guys like as Devos. Literally when you message Devos, it comes back as Devos. So like guys I'm interested in,
It's
like
weird.
it's weird. It's not and you know, like I perfect world, guys would be not care about any of that, but like that's not the world we live in. You know, it's like there's
No.
like so much stigma, there's so much like, it's a lot to look past to see Devin underneath, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm not helping myself in that scenario to like bond with people or connect with people. So one of my New Year's resolutions was to stop working for a second and put myself, you know, out of drag first and like develop a little boy page for that reason. Because I think it's valuable, and I think like, you know, self-esteem wise, it would just I have I'm pretty confident in myself, but I think it would just help to have that to
Yeah. I used to get
present.
really like sad about it because I would post out of drag and I would lose followers, and it really like fucked with me.
Really?
And so I stopped doing it, and I would only appear in drag on Instagram, never out of drag. And that was like for I think like a year or two. And
Hmm.
then it started to become an issue because I would go out and meet people and I would say hi to people that I knew on Instagram and they wouldn't know who I was. And I would have to awkwardly be like, "Oh, it's me, Jordan." And they'd be
The
like, "Who?"
worst.
And I'd have to show them things. So, but I was at my friend's house and we were sitting somewhere in their kitchen or something. And he was like, "Why don't you just like post yourself out of drag just doing the same stuff that you're doing in drag? Just like cuz you're so he's like cuz you're so the same person in and out of drag and people connect to like your personality and your humor, so why not just show out of drag?" And so I just stopped giving a shit and I started doing it. And now I'm getting more. One, people recognize me out of drag now, so I don't
Hmm.
have to have that awkward conversation because I can
Sure.
just walk into a social function with people I know and be out of drag and still feel safe. And also, more and more men are sliding in on the drag page now
Period.
because they don't care and they see all the posts of me out of drag that they're like, oh, and it's all like videos this close to my face. It's not like it's like you're gonna know what I look like.
Still stunning.
Stunning.
Still
So,
stunning.
but it's hard. That was like a really big struggle for me. Now I'm just like, whatever. I don't care.
Well, that's a little bit of my problem is I don't care, but I want to have more of like a relationship with like guys and like a romantic or sexual. I'm not like a very sexual person. I'm not like a very romantic person. So if I don't like put any of that forward, it won't happen. Like I
Yeah,
like when I post a story of me naked, it's not because I'm like feeling myself. It's literally because I know that sex sells. Like I like
it's true.
like it's not like a ooh, I hope this gets me laid tonight. It's like a I want your attention, so I'm posting this right now. So it's literally to just
Good.
make myself be more, you know. I went on my first date in like probably a year the other day.
Oh my God, where'd you go? What'd you
I did.
do?
I did. So we went and got it was very dweeby, but there's this sushi place called Akuma Ramen in West Hollywood. And it's like I forgot like how nerdy it was, but like you walk in and like the entire wall is a mural of like anime characters. Um, which I love. I'm like, are you an anime fan at all? Yeah, I know.
Am I
So
an
now I'm just
anime fan?
oh, thank goodness.
No, I'm not. I'm not an anime fan. um, no, I used to watch like Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid, but like I don't remember anything.
Okay. So you never got into like any of the Japanese animation or Korean animation.
No, I stumbled upon some porn once and it was cool, but that's like it.
That can I don't know if I should say that what it's called. Maybe that would get you in trouble.
What, hentai? Oops.
Yeah, hentai.
My channel is not monetized
At all
yet.
in any way? Not yet.
Yet.
Sponsors are coming your way.
Well, you now you got to get to the 4,000 watch time and you got to get the 10 million reels views. It's crazy.
No, they're making it a lot. They're making it a lot.
Yes. Remember when it was like you could just make an account and as long as you were in good standing, you were monetized?
YouTube used to be so easy to get monetized. It was like, and then I had like when I was like 16, I made like a silly video with my friends called Strip Soccer Tennis Challenge, which
Yes.
wasn't supposed to be all that sexual, but it got like 600,000 views or something over time. And so I've collected some coins from that video before, and I don't even think I'm monetized anymore on YouTube because of all the changes to the system. I don't even think I qualify anymore.
I I don't anymore for sure. But I want to talk about the date cuz I got distracted. So
Sure.
you went to have sushi or ramen? Sushi ramen?
Went to have sushi. My friends were having a party that night, and it was like bring a date type vibe. So I was like, okay, I'll get dinner with this guy beforehand, and I'll make myself go on a date even though I don't want to. And then if like the date goes well, we'll go over to the party. Date went fine. Date went well. He was super nice, and then we went to the party. My friends are very like entertain each other type people. So we get there and we had to like put like little plastic handcuffs to our date and then like share like a drink thing, whatever. And then they had us do an improv game where you had to pitch something. I know it sounds like a nightmare.
No,
Where
I
but
love improv.
where you had to pitch something to so like the crowd was the Shark Tank guests or the judges So you had to go up with your date and you had to pitch a Shark Tank idea. And there was like a tournament bracket and you kept moving through. So the date went well. I'm glad I did it, pushed myself out of my comfort zone. We did some improv together, the American Dream.
Aw, cute.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see him again.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Like, yeah, I'm so not sexually driven that like I yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I
That
don't want to
is
talk about
that is such a powerful thing because I know me and I will suck his dick on the first date.
and that's amazing. No, and that's so great. And like
Oh gosh.
there's such a beauty to that too, it's just
Yeah.
expressing yourself. But I think I get a lot done because I'm not very sexually driven. It keeps my, I
Oh,
see,
you
yeah,
must.
yeah,
Because
it keeps
I, I
moving.
I just like I feel like sometimes it depends. But also I'm really bad at the in person flirtation. I always talk about like
Mm,
going to parties and things and like meeting a random stranger that I'm attracted to. And
hmm.
I just don't know how to like put myself out there like that because I'm so used to these apps where it's like, what do you like? Let me see your dick. Okay, cool. What's your address? And that's it.
Yeah,
But you can't do that in person,
it's a
or
different
can you?
art form.
I
Well,
don't know.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
I think you can depending on the venue, but
Maybe. I have friends who are really good at like socializing and flirting, and then all of a sudden they're making out with this guy that they just met 10 minutes ago. Like
I
to me,
have
that like, how do you cross that boundary? I don't know.
I have those friends too. I I don't know. I also don't try, so I don't know either way. But I imagine I'd be the same way. I just like I don't know. I don't see people and like immediately think to myself like it's time to bone. Like I just I get just I'm more interested in like vibing, being silly. I like to laugh. I like to laugh. Sorry, I like to laugh.
Well, same. And the gag is if somebody makes me laugh, it's just like my legs are
They're
wide
spread.
open. Yeah,
Yeah,
that gets me together.
the floodgates are open.
Yes. Well, I hope you see him again, and who knows?
Who knows? I
Who
know.
knows?
Got to keep my noggin open to opportunities and possibilities.
Yeah, it'll happen when you least expect it and when you're not prepared for it, and then you'll blink and be like, "Oh wait, I've been in a relationship for 3 years. I didn't even know that I was dating." Like it just happens.
What do you think that? Oh my gosh, I feel like we're getting like kind of deep
Oh
now.
my god.
Oh my God. Oh
Huh.
my God. Oh my God. What do you think is the most for you have so you're in a relationship for 10 years. What do you think on the day-to-day basis is the best part of it? Like,
I think knowing for sure that if you want to do something, you have somebody who will do it with you.
hmm.
Like we go to the gym together every day, and I know, all right, it's 5 o'clock. Joey's almost home from work. Let me like finish up what I'm working on for the day. I'll like make us dinner, and he'll come home. We'll go to the gym, and then we come home and just relax. Or lately, we've just been working until like 1 or 2 in the morning on like pageant stuff. But also too like, hey, I want to go to this thing. Let's go.
Right.
You know, I it's so easy to like if I'm hungry and I want to go to Cheesecake Factory, I can be like, hey, let's go to Cheesecake Factory, and we don't need to plan it. We can just be like, all right, let's get up and go right now.
True.
Also, living with someone is when it's the right person, it's fun because it's like I can be like, oh my god, do you want to watch this movie? Let's just cancel all of our plans for the night, and we're just gonna take an edible and watch this movie.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like 10 o'clock on a Thursday, and I'll say, oh my god, do you want to go see this movie in the movie theater? Let's go to the movie theater. Let's put on our pajamas and go to the movie theater.
hmm.
That's the best part because it's like sometimes you want to do stuff, but you don't want to like figure out which friend to hit up and then wait for them to respond and then wait for them to flake. It's like it's stupid, especially
Totally.
the gays.
The gays will flake. But when you
Yeah.
find a gay that doesn't flake, hold on to them.
Yes. I'm also working really hard on maintaining adult gay male friendships.
It's tough.
It's very
It's tough.
tough.
And so when you say adult male gay friendships, um, a lot of adjectives, are
Yeah.
are these out of drag friendships or in drag friendships, or does it not matter?
In drag, I don't believe I have any friends.
Are you serious?
Oh, I've been so like drag queens will double cross you. They will pull money out of your pocket. They will underhand you for a gig, even if they claim to be your sister to your face for years. It's happened to me as recently as this month. It will always
Jordan.
I will never trust a drag queen. I love all of you girls. I can hang out with you all, but when it comes to like the expectation that you will advocate for me, I don't have that expectation.
Okay,
Period.
well, I
So
hear
like,
you.
you know, I can see you out, like I can see the girls out socially and hang out and have a good time, but I never have the expectation that they're going to be they're going to go out of their way to do something nice for me or to hang out with me.
Okay. Well, let me start at ground zero. Maybe we can
We're going to unpack
don't
this.
don't let me start don't let Devo start below ground. I'll start at zero and hopefully I can earn your trust. I hear you and I know what you're saying. It's like I think it's where you know where I found the most success. You're not gonna I haven't found that much success in like
No.
meeting drag queens, but I love alternative drag. I love drag that like we connect on a level where it's like we're maybe we're still working on this or like I feel like anytime I meet a drag queen and we are it's like a competition to see who's better, it's not going to work out. But I feel like I
Mm-mm.
have had genuine or I do have genuine drag friends where it's like it's fun, we're on this drag journey together. I don't need you for anything. I enjoy what you're doing and you're doing something really different for me. So
Yeah. I feel like I have friends who are drag queens who I really like, but I've just been like in so many situations where like they've told someone something and my name I was taken off of a flyer, or like I had an idea for this gig and then shared it with them, and then next thing you know they have the idea for a gig. Like I've literally had friends go, "Oh my god, you should come see my show. It's this title." And I'm like, "Wait, didn't you and I have a lunch meeting like a year ago to produce this show together?
what the
And now
fuck?
you're inviting me to see the show that you took behind my back to another venue, and now you're doing it and you're making money off of it, and you want me to buy a ticket to see my show that you like, are you on crack?" But of course I
Oh,
show up and I smile and I'm kind and I'm gracious because I'm nice. But in my mind I'm like, that's not your friend.
no, Jordan, I know you're right. And like hearing you say this, it makes me like try oh, I wish I didn't have to be more aware, but I think I'm um a little naive sometimes. But I definitely
I
it makes
mean,
me
yeah, I am too. It's fine.
I'm like going through the last like few weeks and being like, I wonder what projects I've mentioned to who excitedly because I'm excited to share it with them, you know, and like
I mean,
I
you
hope
may
it's not
never see
stolen.
that.
I
You may
know, but
never have that issue, but
it's something to keep in mind. Could we end on a positive note? Because
nope.
I okay, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoy Woo! Um,
Let's see.
do we have time to talk about your pageant? Just like the prep process, anything? I want to hear
If you
it so
want, I
bad.
mean, we can also talk about Caesar salads.
Ooh.
Wait, why the fuck do you like Caesar salads? I'm not a salad person.
Okay, so the chicken Caesar salad is so versatile. It's at
Okay.
almost every restaurant. I always get it with no cheese, very controversial, but it's just 2 a.m. I know. Um, the dressing can be oily, it can be creamy. You can have any
Ooh.
protein, any protein. You can have chicken, which can be prepared so many different ways. I love a grilled or blackened shrimp. You can have salmon, steak. I even put sausage on a chicken on a Caesar salad sometimes. The croutons can change the game if they're crunchy, if they're seasoned correctly, if
Mm-hmm.
they're flat. There are so many components to the chicken Caesar salad, and everyone has something that gets them out of bed in the morning. And for me, at the end of the day, if have you seen the Trisha Paytas clip of her on Big Brother UK where she's like, friends will leave you, relationships will end, pizza
Yes.
is
Yes.
forever.
I love Trisha. I just recently emailed her to do the podcast, and there's no way she's gonna do it, but I did
Oh,
send an email.
I don't know. She's pretty open to any like having even I mean, it could
You
be
never
you.
know. I mean, she said on her podcast that she would love to do anyone's podcast, but I've noticed she only does podcasts that are one really huge and two like friends, like girls that she knows through social media.
She's also busy. I think she does have a lot going on, but
Yeah, she's about to have that second baby. She's got a lot going on, so it's fine.
hold on. I'll post on my story right now that she should come on your podcast. I feel like we need to start
Wait,
a campaign.
imagine she follows you and she sees it and she goes, "You're right."
I Here we go.
Nah, nah.
Should it be a
Get
picture of the Zoom?
get Trisha Paytas on. Hey girl.
Do you want to smile for the picture?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Well, I would love to hear about we have a little bit of time. I would love to hear about your pageant if there's
Oh,
anything you can share.
okay. So here's the tea. I am competing for Miss Comedy Queen at Nationals in March as a wild card candidate because there are no preliminaries here in
Okay.
California, and I'm hoping to change that. So basically, what the pageant is, it's multiple categories. One is presentation, which is a look in a theme. This year's theme is athletics.
Okay.
Then an outrageous evening gown, where it's a gown category, but it has to be like themed and not necessarily funny, but like creative. And
Sure.
then a talent, which is a comedic talent. And then instead of question and answer, the top five queens will do a spokesperson challenge where it's a 60-second
Oh,
improvised bit where you pull an item out of a bag and you have to sell that item to the audience in 60 seconds, but you have to be funny.
that is great.
So basically, all of my stuff is done. We're just finishing up like the last one or two outfits and just rhinestoning. And I have some wigs that I'm gonna do. And then like all the music is done. I just have to rehearse my talent a couple times. Like I'm in a good spot considering I have like a little over a month before the pageant.
Do they record it or broadcast it anywhere?
I think they're gonna do a live stream, but it's in Florida, so like the drag laws are really weird there, so they like are
Mm.
really strict about recording. But I'm gonna try to sneak some videos.
Okay, well, everyone, you need to start. Where can people support? How can people support you right now?
Honestly, I mean, all of us are fundraising, so like you can send me $1 on Venmo. That will cover travel expenses and mostly travel expenses because a lot of the fabric and stuff we were able to get cheap slash already had.
Hmm.
So, but I'm just like I really hope to go and represent for LA and represent for the funny girls because we
For the
deserve it.
You do deserve it. Well, if you've enjoyed this podcast or any of Jordan's podcasts, get over to the Venmo. Every dollar counts. Because those flights
Wait,
are expensive. Getting to Florida? No.
yes. Well, will you tell the people of the internet where they can find you, darling?
Sure. I am at Divos, my name, Divos, with periods between the letters. So D period, I period, V period, O period,
Not
S.
DeVos.
Not Devos, but I mean,
Not
anything you want to call
Devos.
me, I'll reply to. Um,
Divos.
and then drag.divos on Snapchat. But I'm excited for my Pride project coming out. The podcast will be up next week.
You can follow the podcast at HeyGirlPod on Instagram. That's HeyGurlPod. You can email me at HeyGirlPod@gmail.com. You can follow me at Jordan Jayro everywhere. That's JordanJayro. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I am currently taking a break from my mental health to focus on my social media. Also, now all these episodes are available on YouTube, so you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and you can listen to the episodes on YouTube. You can also see them, but it's just a picture for now. I really am hoping to do visual podcasts soon, but we'll see, you know? Anyways, don't forget to rate the podcast 5 stars and write a really nice review.
Thank you so much for having me, Jordan. This was so much fun.
Thank you. And thank you all so much for listening. And until next time, have a fabulous life. Bye bye.
Bye.
Wee!